1 minute ago, the order went live. If you are watching this, you are witnessing the single most expensive mistake of Donald Trump's presidency. And for once, he can't tweet his way out of it. He can't bully his way out of it. And he certainly can't sue his way out of it. Because as of this morning, the rules of the sky just changed. For the last 70 years, the United States has operated under the assumption that the air above Canada was free real estate. American airlines, American cargo jets, and American military transports have flown over the Canadian North to get to Europe, to get to Asia, to get to the rest of the world. They treated Canadian sovereignty like a doormat. They assumed it would always be there. They assumed Canada would never dare to close the gate. Donald Trump built his entire 2026 strategy on that assumption. He thought he could squeeze Canada on trade. He thought he could slap tariffs on Canadian steel, aluminum, and lumber, and that Ottawa would just take it. He thought Mark Carney was just another polite politician who would fold under pressure. He was wrong. Today, Mark Carney didn't just push back. He looked at the map. He looked at the physics of global travel, and he pulled the biggest lever in geopolitical history. Canada has officially revised its overflight fee structure and restricted access to the polar routes for nations currently engaged in hostile trade actions. Let me translate that for you. It means if Donald Trump wants to keep a trade war going with Canada, American planes don't get the shortcut anymore. And the fallout is already catastrophic. You are looking at billions of dollars evaporating from the US airline industry in real time. You are looking at a logistical nightmare that is going to make your Amazon packages late, your flight tickets double in price, and your stock portfolio bleed. This is the story of how the map fought back. This is the story of how a calm, calculated Canadian Prime Minister lured a loud, reactive American president into a trap he didn't even see coming. And most importantly, this is the story of why your life is about to get more expensive. Because Donald Trump refused to read the fine print. So, what exactly just happened? Let's strip away the noise and look at the reality. At 8 now a.m. Eastern Time, Transport Canada issued a notice to air missions. It wasn't a press conference. It wasn't a shouty rally. It was a piece of paper, a boring, bureaucratic piece of paper. But that paper contained a bomb. It stated that effective immediately, the preferential overflight rights granted to US carriers under the old agreements are suspended pending a sovereignty review. Now, to the average person, that sounds like legal jargon. But to the CEO of Delta, the CEO of United, and the CEO of FedEx, that is a death sentence. Here is the geography lesson that Donald Trump missed. If you want to fly from New York to Tokyo, you don't fly in a straight line across the map. You fly north. You fly over the Arctic. You fly over Canada. It's the only way to make the math work. It saves fuel. It saves time. It saves billions. By suspending these rights, Carney has forced US jets to divert. They have to fly south. They have to fly the long way around. They have to fly around the massive landmass of Canada. Do you know what that adds to a flight? It adds hours. It adds thousands of gallons of jet fuel. It means planes have to stop to refuel in places like Anchorage or Hawaii, turning direct flights into layovers. It means crews time out. It means schedules collapse. And the cost? Analysts are saying this morning that this could cost the US aviation sector $4 billion a week. $4 billion. That is not a trade war. That is an economic siege. And the beauty of it, the absolute strategic genius of it, is that Trump can't stop it. He can't send the military to force Canada to open its airspace. That's an act of war. He can't sue in US courts because Canada is a sovereign nation. He is completely helpless. And you can see the panic setting in. Look at the markets right now. American Airlines stock is in free fall. Logistics companies like UPS and FedEx are issuing emergency guidance warnings. They know what this means. It means the era of cheap, fast American global dominance is over, at least as long as Trump is picking a fight with the landlord of the North. But why now? Why did Carney wait until this moment? Because he gave Trump a chance. For months, we have watched Mark Carney try to be the diplomat. We watched him go to Washington. We watched him offer reasonable terms on the softwood lumber dispute. We watched him offer a pathway to modernize the border. And what did he get in return? He got insults. He got erratic threats at 3 a.m. on social media. He got a president who stood on stage in Ohio and told his voters that Canada was ripping us off and that he was going to make them pay. Trump thought he was negotiating with the old Canada, the Canada that apologizes, the Canada that asks for permission. But Mark Carney isn't that. Canada. Carney is a central banker. He is a man who understands leverage better than anyone on the planet. He knows that you don't win a fight with a bully by shouting back. You win by changing the cost-benefit analysis. Trump wanted to make Canadian goods expensive for Americans. Fine. Carney just made the entire world expensive for Americans. And the most humiliating part for the White House is that they have no countermove. What are they going to do? Ban Canadian flights? Sure. Go ahead. Air. Canada can fly to Europe without crossing the US. They can fly to Asia without crossing the US. Canada is the roof of the world. The US is the living room. You can leave the house without walking through the living room, but you can't get to the backyard without going through the roof if you're trying to fly efficiently. The geometry is on Carney's side. And this is where we have to talk about the man himself, Donald Trump. We are seeing a version of Trump today that we haven't seen in a long time. We are seeing a scared Trump. Usually when he gets hit, he hits back instantly. He imposes a sanction. He fires someone. He creates a distraction. But this morning, silence. Sources inside the West Wing are saying the mood is apocalyptic. They are scrambling. They are pulling out old treaties from the 1950s, trying to find a loophole. They are screaming at the lawyers. They are calling the US ambassador in Ottawa and demanding he fix it. But he can't fix it because this isn't a mistake. It's a policy. And it exposes the central lie of the Trump presidency, the lie that America can go it alone, the lie that America doesn't need friends, the lie that you can treat your allies like dirt and still expect them to hold the door open for you. Canada just slammed the door, and Trump's fingers are stuck in the jam. Now, let's bring this down to your level, because you might be sitting there thinking, I don't fly to Tokyo, why do I care? You care, because this is about to hit everything you buy. When FedEx planes have to take a longer route, they burn more fuel. Who pays for that fuel? You do. The shipping surcharge on your online orders is going to go up. When Delta has to cancel flights because they can't make the route profitable without Canadian airspace, the supply of seats goes down. Who pays for that? You do. Your summer vacation just got 40% more expensive. When the US supply chain slows down because parts from Asia are taking an extra day to arrive, factories slow down, shifts get cut, jobs get shaky. This is the invisible tax of incompetence. Donald Trump's incompetence is now a line item in your monthly budget. And the tragedy is it didn't have to be this way. Canada didn't want this fight. Carney didn't wake up wanting to ground US aviation. He wants trade. He wants flow. He wants prosperity. But he also has a duty to his country. And when a foreign leader, even a friendly one, threatens to destroy your economy with illegal tariffs, you have to respond. You have to show them that the pain goes both ways. Carney is teaching Trump a lesson in physics. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Trump pushed on trade. Carney pushed on gravity, and gravity is winning. Let's look closer at the receipts of this disaster. Let's look at the actual numbers that are breaking right now. Receipt number 1, the Anchorage bottleneck. Alaska is supposed to be a strategic asset, but right now, Anchorage Airport is being overwhelmed. US cargo jets that used to fly smooth arcs over the Canadian Yukon are now being forced to funnel through narrow corridors to avoid Canadian airspace fees. Air traffic controllers are reporting gridlock. Fuel trucks are running dry. It's a parking lot in the sky. And every minute those planes sit on the tarmac, money burns. Receipt number 2, the Asian market. Asian airlines, Japanese, Korean, Chinese carriers, they aren't banned. They are still flying over Canada. They are still paying the normal rates. They are still flying efficient routes. Do you see what that means? It means a Korean airline can now fly passengers and cargo to New York cheaper and faster than an American airline can. Carney just gave a massive competitive advantage to foreign competitors. He didn't just hurt US airlines, he handed their market share to the rest of the world. Receipt number 3, the diplomatic cables. We have reports leaked just minutes ago of a phone call between Secretary of State and the Canadian Foreign Minister. The US side was reportedly shouting. The Canadian side, they were described as polite, but firm. They simply cited the environmental impact of aviation and the need to review carbon pricing. That is the ultimate power move, using the language of bureaucracy to execute a brutal geopolitical strike. They aren't saying we hate Trump. They are saying we love the environment, and oh, by the way, your planes are too dirty to fly over our glaciers for free. It is masterful. It is cold. And it is working. Now, I want you to pause and think about the image of Mark Carney in this moment. While Trump is likely red-faced, throwing papers, screaming at his staff to nuke the deal, Carney is probably sitting in his office in Ottawa looking at a spreadsheet. He's not sweating. He's not ranting. He's just adjusting the variables. This is the difference between a reality TV star and a reality-based leader. Trump plays to the camera. Carney plays to the system. Trump wants the clip. Carney wants the result. And right now, the result is that the United States is effectively blocked from the Northern Hemisphere's most critical transportation corridors. We need to talk about what this signals for the future. This isn't just about planes. This is about water. This is about electricity. This is about oil. Canada provides a massive amount of the energy that powers the US grid. Canada provides the crude that runs US refineries. If Carney is willing to weaponize the airspace, what happens if he weaponizes the pipelines? Trump has spent 2 years threatening to shut down the border. He never thought about what would happen if Canada shut down the resources. He forgot that the United States is a consumer nation. We consume energy. We consume goods. We consume travel. And Canada is the supplier. You don't go to war with your supplier unless you have a backup plan. Trump has no backup plan. He has concepts of a plan. He has tweets of a plan. But he doesn't have the infrastructure to replace the Canadian connection. And that is why this moment is so dangerous, because a cornered Trump is a dangerous Trump. What happens in the next 24 hours? Scenario A, Trump caves. He hates doing it. It will kill his ego. But the CEOs of the airlines are donors. They are powerful. They are going to call him and say, "Mr. President, we are bleeding to death. Fix this." If Trump caves, he has to drop the tariffs. He has to apologize. He has to admit that Carney beat him. That is the rational move. But we know Trump isn't rational. Scenario B, escalation. Trump doubles down. He bans Canadian airlines from landing in the US. This would be total chaos. It would mean families can't visit each other. It would mean business travel stops. It would effectively sever the North American continent. And guess who gets hurt more? Canada has a population of 40 million. The US has 340 million. We have more to lose. We have more businesses that rely on that cross-border flow. If Trump chooses escalation, he triggers a recession. Not next year, next week. Scenario C, the secret deal. Trump sends a proxy, maybe Elon Musk, maybe a family member. They fly to Ottawa quietly. They beg for a reprieve. They cut a deal in the shadows so Trump can claim a victory in public while giving up everything in private. This is the most likely outcome. Trump will claim he negotiated a tremendous new deal, while in reality, he just agreed to whatever Carney wrote down on a napkin. But no matter which scenario plays out, the damage is done. The illusion is shattered. The world has seen that the United States is vulnerable. The world has seen that you can say no to Donald Trump and live to tell the tale. Mark Carney just provided a blueprint for the rest of the world. Europe is watching. China is watching. Mexico is watching. They are realizing that the America First bully has a glass jaw, and Canada just punched it. Let's go back to the human cost for a second. I want you to imagine the scene at O'Hare Airport right now, or JFK. Families sleeping on the floor, boards lighting up red with carnal confusion, anger. And then imagine the scene in the White House. Confusion, anger. It's the same energy. The chaos that Trump creates in his administration is now spilling over into the terminals of our airports. You voted for America First. Did you think that meant America grounded? You voted for a strong man. Did you think that meant a man who is too weak to keep the flight paths open? This is the reality of populist isolationism. It sounds great in a speech. It sounds great on a bumper sticker. But when it hits the complex machinery of the global economy, it breaks things. And right now, it broke your ability to travel freely. There is a deep irony here. Trump wants to build walls. He wants to close borders. Well, Canada just helped him. They built a wall of air, a wall of fees. And now that the wall is up, Trump is realizing that walls trap you inside just as much as they keep people outside. America is trapped. We are trapped in a conflict we didn't need. Started by a president who doesn't read the briefings and finished by a prime minister who read every single line of the contract. Carney didn't even have to raise his voice. He just enforced the rules. That's the scary part for Trump. This isn't a revolution. It's a foreclosure. Canada is foreclosing on American entitlement. As the day goes on, you are going to hear the spin machine kick in. Fox News will blame Trudeau even though he's gone. They will blame woke Canadian policies. They will blame the Green New Deal. They will try to tell you that this is an attack on freedom. Don't buy it. This isn't about freedom. It's about business. It's about contracts. It's about the fact that you can't treat your biggest trading partner like an enemy and expect them to treat you like a friend. The bill has come due. And while Trump is frantically trying to find his credit card, Mark Carney is sitting there calm, collected, waiting for the payment to clear. This is a defining moment for the continent. The power dynamic has shifted. For a century, Washington barked and Ottawa jumped. Today, Washington barked and Ottawa handed them an invoice. You need to prepare for what's coming next. If this doesn't get resolved in 48 hours, the ripple effects will hit the grocery store. They will hit the gas pump. They will hit the job market. This is not a drill. This is a trade war turning into a cold war fought in the upper atmosphere. And right now, Canada has the high ground, literally. So, here's the question you need to ask yourself as you watch the stock market ticker turn red and the flight cancellations pile up. Who do you trust to fix this? The man who broke the system because his feelings got hurt? or the man who understands the system well enough to shut it down with a single piece of paper? Donald Trump is facing his disaster, but unfortunately, he's taking all of us down with him. The skies are closed, the price is going up, and the president is offline. Welcome to the new North America. It's Carney's world now. We're just flying in it if he lets